This is amazing. It was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Moskin and Cam Water.
For the first time here for season 3. Davis on pole, Vanderkrant in second. It's going to be sprint round action here tonight. Let's go racing here at Daytona. It was a good start there from Davis in comparison to Vanderkrant in behind. Cowan's absolutely bogged it up and already dropped out of the top 3 here as they come down towards turn 1 for the first time. There's biffing and barging between Gallen and Cowan. These guys are still going at it after last season. They survived for this time by though. Through turn 2 and 3 they come. Nice and clean, boys. Keep it up as they come up to...
I love riding. It's a real social thing. There's a great bond between riders.
Every weekend I look forward to getting out there. It's a freedom like no other.
Riding to work is a great way to start the day.
Shannons insure all types of road bikes, not just classics. They offer features riders really want. It's why they're one of Australia's leading motorcycle insurance providers.
Whatever you ride, whatever you ride,
Whatever you ride,
ride with Shannons.
Call 134646 for a quote.
Through turn 1, it was a horrible start from De Bono, who's absolutely bogged it up and gets eaten alive by Dixon and Gowans as they come on through. Through turn 1 they come, and they all spread out around in towards the first sector of the Silverstone circuit. They look all right at the moment. Okay, there's already been a car spun round. That's Jordan Ferguson offline.
Is green, green, green at Road Atlanta here as well. Faulkner did get away. De Bono is tucked in as well. Unfortunately, Houghton is on that outside line. De Bono does want to turn it to 2. He's got the job. De Bono's overtaken. Now can he get Ben Faulkner up through turns for 2 and 3? They go round the right-hander, dropping down the hill. Faulkner's out in front. De Bono second. Houghton third. Ratcliffe in fourth. No real dramas going into turn 1.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannons,
We've also got Shannon's home and contents cover.
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be.
Shannon's.
Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 134646 for a quote.
amazing. It was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Moskin and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to slip on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because tell you what, Bruce Tannock and Jamie Dyson just absolutely drove away from us. Hayden trying to go around the outside. This is where he could have just sent it up the inside, but he hasn't committed, which is fair enough. It's very scary out there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if we get a good run. Dodds just absolutely think about it. It's a really nice move. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to SRW TV. Welcome into round 9 of season 1 of 2025 for the MOZA Racing Super Formula Championship here out at Suzuka International Racing Course. I'm your commentator Hamish Munro, joined as always by Jack Anderson alongside Jack as we come into the final round after what can only be described as a nuclear insertion of chaos, controversy, and spiciness in our championship battle going ahead. It all changed in the blink of an eye last week for Danny Davidson. And in that one moment on the second to last lap, he took himself from a positive championship position that then would have meant he could have come into Suzuka, cruised to the end and won the title. And now he has all the work to do to get past Giuliano Sinise. How quickly the coin can flip and you can go from heads to tails, back to heads again. Jack Oz, first of all, how are you? Second of all, where are we even going to be at the end of the race? Like, that's the question. Where are we going to be?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Glad to be here. It's exciting for the last round. What might happen and what might unfold is anyone's guess, really. It could go either way. Could get Danny Davidson on top, could get Sinise on top, could even end up with Dougie Gowans doing a Stephen Bradbury and winning it. So that's pretty interesting for the Pro Series. Pro class anyway. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting one.
Well,
I still want to say that it was probably a bit of a commentator's curse last week for Danny Davidson.
No.
You were talking up his stock a lot.
No commentator's curses right here, Jack Oz. Come on. That there was a gift from the gods for us in terms of giving us one hell of a way to end out this season.
You must have thrown some thumbtacks out on track.
Yeah, I went down to the third to last corner at Homestead Miami, put some thumbtacks down. Somehow didn't catch out Doug Gowans. It was only Danny Davidson that caught them.
Crazier things have happened. We have had a driver go past the track.
This is true.
Last week.
This is true. That has happened before, but we can see though how the championship standings have changed. Giuliano Sinise leads the championship for 8 Appliances Atomic Racing Community on 1,151 points after drop rounds. Of course, the final round of the season is non-droppable. So that middle column are the corrected points currently with drop rounds included. Danny Davidson, P2 on 1,124 points, 27 points behind. The Doug Gowans is a further point back from the leader there in P3. For your Pro-Am class, Ben Brook is 4th overall in the standings on 949 points. Second place in that championship is Nick Martin on 935. So only 14 points separate them here this evening as well. For Dylan DeBono, well, unfortunately for him, he's out of reach of the championship, as are Ben Brook and Nick Martin for overall claims. There's not enough points on offer for them to be able to get to the top step. So it is a 3-horse race for the Pro Championship, but also in an overall sense as well. Matt Tesseriero in that Pro-Am battle is then a further... He's probably about 90-odd points back from Ben Brook. So he seems reasonably out of it. It looks like a 2-horse race between Ben and Nick for that Pro-Am title. And then Josh King, he's got 2 hands on the trophy, Jackals. All he has to do is just make the end of this race, and he'll win that amateur championship over Kevin Wakefield, as it would pretty much take Kevin to win overall tonight. For Josh to lose that title, he would also have to come plumb last. So that is pretty much wrapped up for him. In terms of the bubble at the moment, of course, the AWN comes up in 2 weeks' time. The track was announced last night on the Warren Brown Tools V8 Supercar Series show for Bathurst that will be racing at Phillip Island. And I did mention the irony to Cinco, how much he hates Phillip Island, and now we get to go racing there for the AWN. Those that are on the bubble of dropping in or coming up, it could go, Proctor, Hudson, Wakefield, Depp, they can all drop. Bonici's a little bit further up. Clifton, Donahue, Gerard, Sheaf, Cowan, Catechisinas, they could all come up too. The difference being, we know that Benici races in GSRC, so whichever series he finishes higher up in is the one that he will represent. So if he actually has finished higher in the GSRC standings, it means that one of those drivers below the 20th marker will make the way up into representing SRW as well. But those are the drivers we'll have to keep an eye on tonight to figure out if they're going to be in that AOWN slot as well. We're leading in, though, to qualifying. Open qualifying, of course, being a normal round tonight, Jack Oz, they have to pretty much just start a lap before the 15 minutes is up. As long as they cross the line and begin a lap before the 15 minutes is completed, they can finish that lap out on circuit. One thing we need to remember as well for whenever we have to do quick maths tonight on who could be winning the championship is 4 points per position in a normal race, in a normal 60-minute race. So for 27 points behind Sinise, it means that Danny Davidson needs to beat him by 4, 5, 6, 7 positions to win the title. For Gowans to do it, he would need to beat him by 9. He needs to beat him by 1 more than what Davidson does. So, you know, it's going to be tight. It's going to be tough. It's going to be one hell of a night. Prediction, Jackals. Prediction. Who do you think? Who do you think is going to win between the three of them?
It's too tough to tell. I can't separate either of them. They've gone really well all season long, so yeah, it's too tough to tell for me. What about yourself?
That sounds like a cop-out answer to me.
It is a bit, but I really can't tell. They've all done really well.
You know what? He's had a few of the Bradbury moments already. And it would just be hilarious to go at the end of the season when you know who won the pony. I think maybe it goes Doug Gowan's way tonight. Maybe it goes his way. Maybe something happens with Davison and Sinise. Who knows? But I have a feeling that we're going to be on for another one of those Doug Gowan's Bradbury moments where he makes up for what happened at Chicago when he should have won that race, and he would be even further up the championship standings if he had won that race. Actually, he'd probably be leading the championship if he hadn't crashed that car. So I think Dougie's going to win it. I do. I'm going to put my heart on the line that Doug Gowans is going to win the pros this season. Am's amidst Josh King. Nothing against Kevin. It's like trying to go up Mount Everest on ice skates. It's not going to happen, unfortunately. It's just it's an insurmountable amount of odds. And then for the Pro-Ams, I think Ben Brook's done it before. He's proven before how well he can go. And if he's in the field tonight, he's going to be tough to beat for Nick Martin.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's very tough between the Pro-Ams that can, we've seen time and time again, they're able to mix it with even the likes of all the pros. They've just got that much pace, so it could go either way for them. I'm gonna have to go against you there. I want Nick Martin to win, just because he's the underdog, and I love the.
Well, you mentioned his name.
I love the way that
he's gone top in qualifying on a 150.47. So he's shown pace. He's shown pace already. He just has to try and keep that car clean tonight and try and beat Ben Brook on the road. If we do the quick maths in terms of Ben Brook and Nick Martin from the Pro-Am title, there it is. 14 points separate them. So 6 positions. Four positions.
So 5 positions.
No, four positions he would win. No, it's 14 points, so 4 positions would get him the win, because that would be worth 16. Yeah, so it's 14 difference. So 4 positions ahead of Ben Brook for Nick Martin. That's doable. It is doable, 100%. In a 60-minute race to Suzuki, you never know what's going to happen. I'm sure we're probably going to get a safety car at some point tonight. I mean, last time we were here, it was absolute chaos. Cars were on their intakes, and it was one of the wildest races we've ever seen. So I think it's relatively not so insurmountable for Nick to actually do it. So I can appreciate the prediction. I just think that Ben's got more experience in this scenario. He had a very, very similar scenario with Sheafy a few seasons ago, and he pulled it off.
To put it, or to add to that as well, we've seen how good he is at defending as well. So if he's able to start up the front, he could definitely hold off a couple of the faster blokes. Be in for a chance there.
Well, the only other hope is how many points is it worth for a fastest lap? As Danny Davidson goes a 149.7 to go to the top. Martin, though, is proving his pace and his prowess here at Suzuka. He goes even faster again, a 150.2. That puts him P2. Gowans had just pipped him. And that's the thing, though, that he's going to have to be cautious of tonight, is those mistakes that we've seen cost him this season, Jack Oz. And you'd have to look back and think Barber Motorsports Park, where he decided to drive past Danny Davidson thinking that he was damaged, and then he caught the points penalty because of that. He would be leading Ben Brook right now. It's quite funny how either a mistake or a bit of miscommunication / mistimed judgment has cost two drivers the lead of the championship coming into the final round.
Yeah, 100%. It's interesting how such little things can affect the outcome of the championship in such a big way.
Yeah.
All you have to do is set it 1 foot over the line, and you essentially could either ruin or could completely transform you for a whole season.
Well, not just transform your whole season, but it could, as we said, as a viewer and as a impartial viewer as well. You know, where you got no biases towards anyone. You're what's the word I'm trying to think of? Neutral. Then, as a neutral fan, you've got to be loving it, because it means that you've come into the final round now where any of the top 3 can win the title race. You came into the start of last round thinking, it's going to end this way, and then we're going to get into the final round, and that'll be it. But it all changed, completely changed to what we thought would be the most obvious answer, and the most obvious point would have been Danny Davidson, wins last week or gets high up the order, gets good points on Sinise, and then leads the championship into Suzuka. And that's just not the case now. It's completely changed on its head from that point. So coming into the race, and I think Suzuka is one that we can make a prediction, but I don't think the most obvious prediction may even be the option, Jack Oz, because I think Suzuka is such a wild card of a circuit that it's just going to come down to if Lady Luck says it's your day. I think that's all it's going to come down to.
Yeah, and I think, literally, as you touched on, Suzuka is such a wild card, and the only thing that I think we're going to miss tonight is rain. Like, we might see sparks fly, we might see a whole bunch of things, and Suzuka is just one of those tracks where
I'll be honest, I'm glad there's no rain. Not just from a broadcast perspective, because Suzuka draws a lot, and with the rain, we want this to be the best show possible, of course. We don't want it to be blinking or anything, and I'd hate for rain to have that happen for the final round. But also, I think you want the championship decided on the track and not by the weather gods. You don't want the rain to take a part in deciding the champion. You want it to come down to who is the best of the best out of the 3 of them on the final day of the season. And that's what we want it to come down to. And I think a dry weather circuit, yes, it takes skill, it takes tenacity to drive in the wet, but I think it's too much of an X factor. I think the dry running means that these guys can run at full pace, full confidence, and they can push on for the 60 minutes and just see who comes out on top. And I absolutely love that.
Yeah, I agree and disagree with that. I think that the rain, I agree that it's good that it's not going to rain, but if it did rain, I wouldn't be mad, because
I wouldn't be if
out
it didn't cause issues.
The X factor and things like that, and you have to be more of a complete driver to be able to master the wet and the dry to be in for a chance to win the championship. So
is there then a point of option that then the rain, if it was to rain, it should be droppable? Because
No, I don't think so, because the thing is that if you're in the pros and you're fighting for a win, for instance, that if it rains, you should be able to.
You should be able to handle it. You should be able to handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then the other X factor on top of the rain, because it's kind of a sub X factor, is how do the rest of the drivers handle the rain? And if you get caught up in the wrong moment, we saw it last night with the back marker and the leader Stefan Lawrence in the split 2 race, got caught up at the top of the mountain. You know, they were both a little bit indecisive, caused dramas, one of them crashed. And it's, you know, the X factor of the rain is you don't know how the other drivers are going to respond and how they're going to go in the rain, especially around here. It's a tough circuit it's a tough circuit in the dry. It's tough enough in the rain, mind you. Like, the puddles are ridiculous. So I think that we get some dry running tonight, which is good. We get a nice long 60-minute fight to the end. I think there'll be a safety car in there somewhere. There's bound to be. Suzuka often offers it up for us. And then we get to Grand Slam champions afterwards. And we don't, not only that, we also get to then push some drivers up or down into or out of the AOWN positions for 2 weeks' time at Phillip Island. And I mean, I have to say, I mean, I mentioned it yesterday, Jackals, I wasn't particularly excited for the first one based on the fact that it was Silverstone. It proved me wrong. It was still a great race. I'm still not a big fan of Silverstone, mind you, but it was a great race. Last time at Mugello, I was ecstatic because I love Mugello and I thought, yes, this is going to be an absolute barn burner, and it was. It proved to be. This time, I'm just as excited as I was for Mugello, but it's the fact that I think Phillip Island's going to give us real X-factor moments. It's a track that will test drivers. It's a track that leads to controversy, leads to chaos, gives us some good battles as well. And I think it's going to be a good... I think it's good that we've finally gotten a homegrown circuit, an Australian circuit, for 2 Australian-based series to crown the best open-wheel driver in Australia for the first season of iRacing in 2025.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
So, get into the comments with us tonight. Get into the chat. Let us know you're out there with us too. We've got Shibby in the chat with us. David Rosanita as well, giving some love to Callum Rosanita. Doug Gowns as well, saying thank you to the viewers and the drivers for a great season as one of the admins as well. It's also challenging for the championship here tonight, as we mentioned, with 2 minutes to go in qualifying. Jordan Mazzaroli currently leads the way on a 140.6 at this stage. Can he win this race tonight and maybe bring a bit of an X factor to our championship title fight, or will one of our regulars get there? And at the moment, in behind him, Danny Davidson leads the top 3 in the championship on the road in terms of pace. So Davison, Gowans and Sinise all in a row. They'll all start, if they stay where they are in qualifying, together on the track. And we mentioned, I mentioned before, Jack Oz, Suzuka, we could see a Prost in centre moment at turn 1 between 2 of those championship contenders.
We definitely could, or even going into the chicane at the end of the track. I can't exactly remember who it was.
It was Senna and was it Senna and Prost again, or Senna and Mansell?
I can't remember whether it was Mansell or Prost, but yeah. I definitely remember it was Senna. But we could see one of those even. Who knows? It's one of those things that can, one of those tracks and one of those circumstances that can definitely bring out the most in someone. So it's going to be a tantalising 50 minutes.
Look at you pulling out your Thesaurus, your Thesaurus there, tantalising for us as well. Absolutely fantastic. Greg Barber in the chat saying, yep, both times. Yeah, it was Senna and Prost on both occasions. Because I'm pretty sure on both occasions Senna knew that he would win the title if Prost didn't finish, or it was vice versa. One time was Prost knew if Senna didn't finish. Chicane, Prost was in a Macca though. T1 the next year, he was in the Fez, yes. So, so it was when they were teammates, and then when they were on-track rivals on different teams. We're at the 15-minute mark though, so qualifying's come to an end. Davison's had to back out of his lap. Gowans has found his way into P2 on the grid. Could it be a sign of things to come for the full throttle racing driver, Giuliano Sinise. His final run to the line. He's got a purple sector next to his name, as does Matt Fu in the AM class. Might find himself up inside of the top 10 if this is a solid lap that he's put together for himself. Crosses the line, goes a 150.6 there, or 0.8 I think it was. It was a 0.6, so he went better, but not inside of the 10. Sinise, how's he gone? Not any better. What a shame.
Well, I mean, you've got the 3 title contenders all together at the starting grid, so that could spice things up.
Could you ask for a more, I'm going to steal your wordy, a more tantalising prospect, Jackos?
Oh, you could make them all start from the rear.
Oh, that would be interesting. That would be very, very interesting. Dylan DeBono, though, could he bring a bit of nightmare to the party as he crosses the line? He's had 2 green sectors. Has not gone any better in qualifying, so he will stay P9 on the road. And with no one out there that can realistically beat the times of those top drivers, it seems Jordan Mazzaroli is going to get himself a pole position here after locking himself in the Split 2 title yesterday for the Warren Brown Tool V8 Supercar Series. He did it with a delaminated tyre on the car in one of the most wildest ends to a race we've ever seen here in SRW, so it was a phenomenal effort from him to get that job done. But who's going to win the title? Is it Sinise, who he only needs to finish within pretty much 6 positions of both Gowans and Davison. If he gets a top 6 tonight, he'll win that title. That's all he has to do to win the championships. Finish within 6 positions. They both have to beat him by 7 positions to win. And Gowans would have to beat Davidson for that to happen as well. So it's going to be tough, but with Gowans starting P2, let's see if it goes his way.
I'm just hoping that no one does a caveat on the back end of this track.
Was that when he went through the kink and then straight into the wall on the right?
That was when he
flipped
it.
That's right, he flipped it.
Touched the grass on the way into the hairpin and flipped it.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that no one does that.
Who was it that went round the kink and then went straight into the wall on the right-hand side? I think that might have been Kubica one year in the Williams, possibly.
Quite possibly could have been, or it, hopefully there's no. Do you remember that Super Formula crash where someone actually ended up over the other side of the catch man?
That might have been what I'm thinking of. Guacal in the chat with us saying if someone does a caveat, then red flag and restart. Jace Douglas, how are you going, Jace? Well done this season in the Supercars. Look forward to seeing how you go on Sunday. Starting grid, though, for tonight's race will be as follows. Jordan Mazzaroli will start pole position alongside Doug Gowans, one of the championship contenders on the front row. Danny Davidson, Giuliano Sinise. The other 2 contenders will start inside of the top 4 with Darren Fay and Sam Catacasinas in behind. Nick Martin will start in P7 alongside Matt Tessariero. And importantly, he's starting 4 positions ahead of Ben Brook. So if they would finish how they are, he'd win the title. Dylan DeBono, Mitch Noble will then make up our top 10 with Ben Brook and Andrew Cowan starting for your top 12. Cowie will start pole for the AMs here tonight. Matt Fu, Callum Rosanita in behind with Tyler Sheaf, Mick Clifton, Brad Hudson, the top 17. Tyson McAvoy, Brandon Levin and Nathan Verney for the top 20. Josh King, 2 hands on the AM title at the moment. Just has to finish the race and he should have that title wrapped up for himself. He'll start alongside Andrew Proctor, who hopes to get into the AWN tonight with a nice, solid performance. Dean Sinkovich, Callum Hodgkinson for your top 24 with Kurt Heath, Kevin Wakefield, Andrew Martin, Greg Johnston, Steven Sinkovich and Nick Schmalenberg at the back end of the field. Our race controllers tonight, Greg Barber, Mark Cochran and Greg Leake in the safety car. So we've had the predictions. We've gone through this whole season of ups and downs and wild moments and what ifs, and it's all coming ahead at what could be one of the biggest crescendos to a season we've ever seen for the SFLs. And I think tonight this is going to be possibly an all-timer. I think we are on for something that is spectacular and special, and I think the drivers, I think they know there's an energy in the air, Jackals, that they could be a part of history tonight. Whether it's they get into the AWN for the first time, whether they win their first title at the top end of town and a pro. We're guaranteed a new pro champion tonight. We've never had Sinise, Davison or Gowans as the championship winner in the pro class. Could Nick Martin win his first Pro-Am title? Could Brooke win another Pro-Am title? Could King win his first Am title? It's all going to be answered very, very shortly as we've had the 30-second warning from race control. And we await for the lights to go up and for us to go racing. We're awaiting Katakazinas to join the grid. He's just done so at the very last moment. So pressure's on. Pressure is on to those championship contenders. And who will be crowned the champions of Season 1 of 2025. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. And we're underway at Suzuka for the final race of the season. It's a scramble towards turn 1 for the front runners and the whole field in behind as Mazzaroli leads them through one already. Davison and Sinise wanting to try and keep right on the tail of Doug Gowans. Mazzaroli wants to try and hang up the front all evening as well. Faye's there, Katakazinas as well. Can they keep it clean through the S's past the big Ferris wheel down towards the fast-paced left-hander where it's a good passing opportunity at the braking zone into the right, but they're going to have to be cautious and careful of any mistakes, any little bit of dirt and gravel on the road all night, because if it goes out onto the braking zone, they're going to end up in absolute tears and agony as they run towards the bridge for the first time. So we've kept it relatively clean thus far. As I speak, Mick Clifton is off the road there, down at the right-hander. He's gotten it going again, but he's just wanting to try and get that thing turned back around as well. So Jacko's an intense start, but one that has been pretty clean here at Suzuka already.
Yeah, it has been pretty clean, and it's rather surprising actually. I thought there might have been a couple cars maybe coming together around, especially going side by side through the S's. It starts to get a little bit difficult as everyone starts to bunch up, so great job for everyone to get through there cleanly. And do you reckon that the three amigos might have been looking at each other on the grid, kind of like in Rush, where you see James Hunt and Nicky Lauda looking back at each other at Suzuka at the end?
Oh, surely. So they're just
giving each other the little nod.
They're looking at each other, a little tip of the cap, like, let's do this, let's have a good race, and let's get this thing to the end as they cross the line to start the next lap. Kevin Wakefield's had a moment further back. He's kept it going, though. Sinise up the inside at turn 1, locks it up, though. Getting a little bit audacious there, Giuliano. I think if he'd done the maths, Jackos, he'd know that he can sit in this spot and he can still win the title in this position. He doesn't need to get past them. They're the guys that need to do all the work. He can cruise here and just get this top 6 finish and he'll win the title.
Yeah, but he might not be satisfied with just sitting back and letting him win and win the race to win the championship. He might want to try and
I suppose
win it on a high.
I was also going to say the most definition or the most definite way you can win the title is if you put pressure on them and then they crash, because that puts even more pressure on them, and then you feel you have a little sigh of relief when that happens. So Mazzaroli leads, Davison P2, Gowan, Sinise for your top 4, Faye, Katakazinas, De Bono, the top 7 are all pros at the moment. Martin, Noble, Brooke for your top 10 to keep an update on the Pro-Am Championship battle. Nick Martin is only 2 positions ahead of Ben Brooke. That is not enough for him to win the Pro-Am Championship just yet. Matt Fu now leads the amateurs back in P13 ahead of Andrew Cowan as well. Tesserato and Rosanita, both of the Velocity Racing Team cars inside of the top 12. They're trying to work together here with their teammate a few positions behind them. Ironically, you've selected Mr. Sheaf to sit on board with him. I think probably I was going to say don't swap for him, because I was going to say probably a good opportunity to actually speak about him, as this being his last race for Velocity Racing Team before moving on to greener pastures.
Yeah, he's decided that he would like to race with some of his mates next season at I believe it was SLM.
So Andrew Proctor, Matt Keane, I think Ray Oliver's a part of that team as well, so be a part of that crew, which I think that's a good opportunity for him. sometimes a new environment, some new scenery can actually do wonders for a driver. Sheafy's been relatively successful though for VRT. Car 033, drive through penalty, contact the car 255 on lap 1. That's going the way of Kevin Wakefield. So unfortunately his night goes from bad to worse, and for Josh King and his hopes for the Pro-Am for the AM title, well, the grip on that trophy has gotten a little bit thicker, I will say. Matt Fu on the back there of Andrew Cowan. So Cowie has taken back the lead of the AM class. This is for P13 on the road. The big screen at the moment, we've got that battle as Andrew Martin has had a moment further back and he's in the wall. Could we see a safety car call for this one? What has happened to Martin Sr. off of this? That car looks very broken and looks very Formula Fordish as well.
Yeah, it's definitely lost all of its aero there, Hank.
So what's happened? He's coming into the braking zone of the
hit
right.
The curb on the inside. Yeah, he's just hit the curb on the inside of the first and double right.
And I think we just saw that rear wheel's broken as well. He's had another crash, and I think he's actually just automatically jumped to pits. So unfortunately, that's not good for him. He might cop a penalty if he did not request it. Did you hear him request anything from race control?
I think he may have done. He has got it to a pretty good spot. So I'm not.
He towed. I think he towed straight back actually. Jason Depp not in the sim tonight. He's out at Malaysia at this stage, which unfortunately means he's within the top 20 of the championship. But that might be his AWN slot gone, possibly, Jackos.
Yeah, I think he was. He mentioned that to us a couple of weeks ago when we spoke to him from his class win. So when he got second place.
Oh yes, he got on the podium, of course. Yes.
Well, there is a request for tow.
Oh, is it Matt Fu? He's off the road. Where is he? He's just down here. Oh, that's not the same spot, is it? Surely
that
not.
looks like it's at the S's.
That thing is very, very poorly. It is at the S's. It's just before. Oh, has he had a steering failure?
There's a lot of dirt and debris all over the track down there. People bring it on.
Yeah, it was a
big practice.
It was a big snap, big snap from him. Oh, he's lost the rear. And it's just gone. Wow, wowee. I'm not sure if he's been allowed to tow. I think he has. No, the safety car is parked, but he has towed back to pit. So we'll see if the safety car does enter the circuit. It is waiting for the leaders, so I think we may have safety car period on our hands here, Jackos.
It definitely seems that way. I will monitor.
Yep, he's left pit lane.
He's moving.
Yeah, Leakey has left pit lane, so the safety car has been called. And we did say that we thought there would be a safety car at some point tonight. Proven, it has been called so early on in this race. Do you think it's worth some drivers coming in and maybe taking a little bit of a gamble, having an early stop in this race, possibly?
Yeah, maybe if they have to refill a little bit of fuel, just to maybe make the second stop.
Yeah, I'm aware, Matt. It's a little bit laggy. Thank you for letting me know. For the second screen there. Let's get let's get one of our drivers on screen as the safety car's now out on track as well. Where is it? There it is. There. It's about to pick up Mr. Mazzarelli. So McAvoy, Schmalenberg, Clifton into pit lane. Where's Cal Rosenett? There it is. Yeah, we've got Cal's camera in there. Let's give him a little bit of love. There he is, laughing away. Scratch of the head. Has he fixed the divot yet from the headphones, Jackals? That's what I want to know.
I honestly couldn't tell you. At least he's scratching his head and not his nose. No.
It's true.
That's all I have to say.
I am happy with that selection from Cal Resnick, that is not doing that at the moment.
That's all right, Callum. We love you.
We do.
He knows it.
I did get some images earlier from one Greg Johnston. I'm just lining them up at the moment to show off on the double screen whilst we're under safety car. I feel it's a good opportunity to do so. So we'll start with this one. And we both said to him, Jackals, when he came in and told us that he'd done that, that we expect him now to get the race win. Because
100%.
We have had confirmation that Mr. Johnston has had actual on-track. He's actually been to the circuit. I'm going to have to resize it again. This is an absolute shame. I do apologise. There we go.
The safety car is returning to the lane.
Okay. So once we go green, we'll unfortunately get rid of Mr. Johnston. But he has had... He has been the closest to the circuit of any driver in the series in the last week. So we expect race win.
Yeah, he went for some extra
R&D, maybe
reconnaissance.
Yeah, bit of
do a track walk and get acquainted with the weather, with the track.
Learn the little nuances. Yeah, exactly. He took his black book there, like Lewis Hamilton has, to write down every little detail of it, so he could come back and see if it translates into the sim as well. We love you, Jono. But we'll have a look at the other one a bit later on if we get another safety car period at some point here tonight. We're back under green flag running once again.
There was quite a bit of nose to tail action.
Oh, there's not only just quite a bit of nose to tail action, there's a whole heap of cars.
He's dragging him along.
Dragging Andrew Martin along. What in the world has happened off the race start?
I feel like we put the mocker on Jono then, because he was involved in that, dragging him along.
We did say as well if he gets into a crash we would show it off, as Steve Sinkovich has also been involved.
Titanic had...
we need to break this down.
Has he just rejoined the track?
I don't know. I don't know.
It looks like he might have just driven straight through the...
So, this is what's happened, as Matt Foos over the radio. This is what's happened off this moment. So, why has this occurred?
I think
please
it was just a
explain.
concertina of cars backing up, going into the chicane. The chicane.
Yeah, well, it was actually... I think there can be some blame put onto Nathan Verney. He kind of put that one to the beginning there.
I think I can safely say that is the first time I've ever seen a car get picked up and dragged along.
Well, we can actually even look at this properly now. If we go right here, and then if we go, here comes Andrew Martin. Up, and up he goes. So, and he's just in the camera. The camera getting dragged along by Jono. Oh, that is one of the wildest moments I've ever seen. One of the wildest moments I've ever seen, ladies and gentlemen. And across my 300-ish broadcast, that is insane. Mazzaroli leads though to Danny Davidson. Giuliano Sinise, P3 on the road at the moment. He is in championship winning position at this stage. Doug Gowans needs to do a bit more if he hopes to win the title here tonight. De Bono Fade. They're not in that battle as Mazzaroli and Davison through turn one. Mazzaroli holds position on the inside line. That's how F4 cars are made. Yeah, we've now seen how F4 cars are made. Yeah, definitely. F4s, Formula Fords, Formula Vs, whatever you want. That's how they're made. That's how they are made. The Andrew Martin's car must have been in heat, Jackals, for that to happen.
Yeah, to end up on the back of the...
Yeah.
the car.
Yeah, he's like, I've just got to have it.
He was magnetised to the back of that thing.
He was. He was. And you can see him there. He's possibly saying a little prayer, but I have a feeling that might be Andrew Martin's night over.
I think he might be reviewing it a little bit. Maybe still in a bit of shock there. I would be too.
He's talking to someone about it. So, whether he's talking to Nick or he's talking to somebody else in their Discord, but yeah, some reflection from the boys that Get a Grip. Cal Rosanito, he's still rocking and rolling along as well. He's up into P11 on the road at this stage, trying to chase down Brandon 11 at the moment. Andrew Cowan as well, further back in the field. Where is he at this moment? he's back in P25. I think he was actually caught up in that moment, but did not cop any damage from that big moment on track as well, though, Jackal. So that's worked out well for him. The big loser of all of this, who did they come through pit lane? They did. Nick Martin pitted under the safety car. Ben Brook did not. So, you know, I have to keep an eye on how that championship battle now happens, and if that's going to be a mistake or a genius plan from Nick to take the free pit stop next to his name. So as we continue on, Davison and Mazzaroli continue their battle at the front of the field. Sinise, Gowans, DeBono and Fay follow closely in behind in their little four-pack battle. And we've got Sam Katakazinis on his lonesome. Mitch Noble leads for the Pro-Ams ahead of Matt Tessariero and Callum Rosanita. Brandon Levin's now lost that spot as well. Hudson is in behind. Brooke and Sheaf and Hodgkinson. Josh King leads the AMS race at the moment. And it is only getting sweeter and sweeter and closer till he can taste that simulated champagne out of the cup that he would win himself for the AM title here tonight as well. Jace Douglas asking, is Cowley's motion rig working? Let's have a look at it correctly. I don't think so, Jace. I don't think he's got it turned on tonight. I know he's had some issues with it. I don't believe he has it turned on. So,
He definitely wouldn't have enjoyed it if he was involved.
If he was in Andrew Martin's position, Andrew Martin would have definitely gone through the roof if he had motion rig. His car would have been hopped up like a progress stick there, Jackals. Barbs is over the radio. Are we getting a word on maybe a penalty being applied, possibly?
I believe it might have been a no further action, or I didn't quite hear it, but it was definitely something along those lines.
Let us
I've
know
got
as
to
well.
jump on board with Steefy so that we don't miss his one overtake. I know how much he loves it when we don't get his overtake on.
Oh, he absolutely loves it, as Gowans is now trying to battle with Sinise through turn one. As Mazzaroli and Davison continue to go at it as well, so both battles are starting to heat up between them. Davison takes the lead before the S's from Jordan Mazzaroli. Well, Davison's done all he can do here tonight to win the title. He now has to kind of hope and pray that Giuliano drops spots, because right now he can't really do anything about it. Can't make up any more positions. He can just hope that Giuliano loses some. Get into the chat as well. Let us know how the sound settings are sounding, ladies and gentlemen. I'm working with a new mic at the moment, so I just want to make sure that they're all sounding good. The cars are a nice level. They're not too loud. They're not too quiet. Jack's at a good level too. So let us know in the chat, just so we can make sure we've got everything balanced nice and correctly for everyone watching out there. Of course, we don't want to have it so, you know, I'm too loud and Jack's too quiet, or we're both too quiet and the car's too loud, or the cars are way too quiet. You can barely hear them and you can only hear us. So, yeah, let us know. Keep us up to date. Much appreciated if you could. Be sure as well to hit the like button and subscribe to the bell icon too, to be notified whenever we go racing. Big end to the season coming your way. Not only tonight is the last round of the MOZA Racing Super Formula Championship. Tomorrow night, the final round of the Shannon's Insurance Toyota GR86 Nationals as well. Thanks, Jace. Appreciate it. Sunday night, round 7, Oran Park, Warren Brown Tools V8 Supercars Championship. That series runs continuously throughout the break of the season. We'll be going away for 4 weeks, broadcast-wise, apart from the Sunday series and the AOWN out at Phillip Island in 2 weeks' time for the Super Formula Championship battle between SRW and GSRC. And then we'll return at the end of April with Season 2 of 2025. The sign-ups going out, hopefully, fingers crossed, by the end of this week for those series as well. We revealed the calendars yesterday for the 3 main series on the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so be sure to go back and watch that show, myself and Sinker, and be able to hear what the calendar is for your favourite series and see if you want to come racing with it as well.
I thought I would have had to get Callum making an overtake for the Callum fans in the chat there.
Oh, Brandon Levin off into the sand trap. What has happened here to Levin down at the S's? He had Cal on his inside of the next corner. Oh, that could have ended very poorly. Very, very poorly indeed. Very, very lucky to get away with that one. Jono's then had a moment too. The man who had the reconnaissance mission at Suzuka last week. It appears that the reconnaissance maybe not as... I'm sure he's... perhaps he's blaming that the reconnaissance maybe was good enough, but maybe something's changed about the circuit in the week's time that he hasn't been there.
Maybe it's an old scan of the track, Hamish.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's not up to date enough. It's not up to date enough to match the reconnaissance that he had in real time. Maybe that's the issue. Who knows? But for some drivers like Callum Hodgkinson, they're having an incredible run. He's up 11 places in this race. Sinise's now getting into the battle with Davison for P2 on the road. So Davison's been dropping a bit of time, possibly caught a slowdown at some point that's made him drop back further into the clutches of the champion-elect in Giuliano Sinise. But this is the title fight now. This is the title fight. And, you know, it was Marcus Ericsson. Yes, thank you, Jason. Appreciate it. It was Marcus Ericsson that it happened to. I mean, we obviously we don't want to see it happen, Jack Oz, but there is a strategy out there where Davison tries to pull a centre and knocks Sinise off track, and even if he damages himself, he puts them both at the back of the field, and he just has to try and fight his way forward and get those crucial 7 positions. Car 10 has been given a drive-through penalty for the contact with car 9 to add on the safety car restart. That is going the way of Mitch Noble. He has been found at fault for the contact with Nick Martin off of the safety car restarts, and he'll now have to traverse through the lane. That'll cost him the Pro-Am lead of the race here, giving it to your driver, Jack Oz, Matt Tessariero.
Yeah, I'm sure that Matt will be pretty tough with that one. But, yeah, it's unfortunate. And to your point before, yeah, I don't think that any driver would have it in their mind to pull off essentially a championship-ending move.
I don't think Danny would do that. It would go against the sportsmanship rules. Jace asking, how many more Sunday nights we got till the end of the season? So we're round 7 this week, Jace. We're having 16 rounds this season. So pretty much from this Sunday, there'll be 9 rounds left, or 10 rounds including Sundays. So Davison's coming into pit lane, though, for a pit stop here. We saw from our little reconnaissance man, Hutto, that lap 12 is the beginning of the first pit window. So he's trying to go for an undercut here. So yeah, Jace, so round 7 this week. There'll then be 16 rounds total. The end of the season calendar will be announced shortly. But, of course, there will be some week breaks in there, seeing as it's, there'll be some weeks that we go head-to-head with Scops, especially in Season 1. I don't think we'll go head-to-head with Logitech at all this season, because their Enduros are not till the end of the year, and that's when they run them on a Sunday. So, yeah, there'll be. I think the math's correct there. It's 10 more inclusive of this Sunday, Jackals, would it not?
I think so.
Yeah, so it'll be 10 rounds inclusive of Sunday. Yeah, spanned across to the end of next season. So, you got 4 weeks until Season 2, and then you got the 9 rounds of Season 2. So across 13 weeks, we got to fill that with 10 rounds, including this week. So, yeah, I mean, there'll be some week breaks in there for sure, to the end of that season. But at this stage, we are about a third of the way through of the final round of the MOZA Racing Super Formula Championship. And for Jordan Mazzaroli, he is looking to get himself a fantastic win, some crucial points in the championship as well. Let me just double check where Jordan is in the championship standings. See if he has a hope in getting into the AOWM. He's already in. He's P7, so there's pretty much no chance of him dropping out of that top 20 at this point, especially since he's actually shown up tonight. So for him, he should be there in 2 weeks' time for the Australian Open Wheel Nationals, where myself and Zach Caban will call the action once again. I'm sure if you're available, Jack Oz, you'll run the camera in the background for us. We'll get you some special comments, as well as the other representative of GSRC as well. But yeah, should be a good night. Should be a good race. Phillip Island as well. I'm very, very excited, as I mentioned. And, I'm hoping that we can... I mentioned it yesterday. I hope we can get the most ironic first win for SRW ever, and having it at a track that Mr. Sinkovic has been very, very vocal about disliking being Phillip Island. I think that would be pretty special for us here as a little cherry on top.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think I'm doing anything, so I tend to try and keep my Wednesday night free now, for obvious reasons. So, yeah, it should be good. I really enjoyed the Super Formulas when they did the test there when they first came out in the wet at Phillip Island.
Yep.
I actually really enjoyed that race, and
it's a great track, and I think it's going to suit the cars well for sure.
Oh yeah, it for sure it does. These cars.
They're almost
I'm
made
not
for
going
the
to say
circuit.
these.
They're almost made for the circuit.
I'm not going to say it, but they basically are.
Yeah, I mean it's
a high downforce car for the sort of medium to long loaded corners. So
yeah,
they suit it really well.
The high downforce suits those motorcycle style of circuits. You think of Mugello, even Silverstone, Phillip Island. You take these cars. I mean, even F1 now races at Qatar, where they've raced the MotoGP for such a long time. As Mr. Mazzaroli comes into pit lane, so does Sinise and Gowan. So now we've got to keep an eye on Danny Davidson, who's on your screen at the moment, Jack Oz, coming up through 130R down to the braking zone of the final couple of corners. He's on the back of Andrew Proctor, who wants to get the job done on the SLM machine. Up the inside goes Davison. Job done for him. So is he going to take the lead? And is the undercut going to work for him as he comes around the final corner? It's going to be tight for Mazzaroli, who looks to exit pit lane. Here comes Davison. Fast-paced run. Car 057. 057. Drive-through penalty. Towing without permission. There's Davison. There's Gowans. Davison's got the lead of the race. Gowans is up to P2, but it's still not enough for them to get ahead of Giuliano Sinise for the title race. He's still there in P1. So, I mean, what hope now does Davison and Gowans have? Realistically, Jack Oz. I mean, for Gowans, he's just got to beat Davison. But the hope is now they have to hope that Sinise drops back. Whether it's by a penalty, whether it's by an incident, there's not much more they can do but just sit at the front and hope and pray with their fingers crossed that Sinise drops out of the top 6.
Yeah, they've got to hope that maybe the likes of DeBono and Mazzaroli and maybe Fahey can mount a challenge to Sinise by the end of the race and get past to give them a chance. So anything can happen in that, as we've seen previously, but yeah, that's probably what they're thinking at the moment, I would say.
So McAvoy, who pitted on lap 4, I don't know if he can get to the next pit window, which of laps for the stint length is 12 laps or 22 minutes. So those who actually pit under that first safety car can't make the next pit window at this stage. So they're actually going to need to do a third stop to get home at this point. So for McAvoy,
will be a shorter stop, though.
It will be a shorter stop, but in saying that, they've still got to be able to traverse through the lane. McAvoy's within this battle though with Sinise. DeBono's there too, but we do expect McAvoy to come into pit lane in the next few laps or so. I don't think he can save enough to get to the end, to get to the next pit window. So as we battle on through, Mazzaroli is now a bit further back as well, so he's really dropped back in this fight and out of the lead of the race. Fay is just in behind him as well. Katakazina still on his lonesome. Mick Clifton leads for the Pro-Am class. I had him miss class majority of the season. No one noticed until last week, but he is a Pro-Am, so he is actually in P2 of the Pro-Am class at the moment. McAvoy, though, does need a pit stop, as does Clifton. So corrected order, Tesseriero will lead the Pro-Ams, as DeBono's now looking to get past McAvoy here. Job done for him. Down through the long left. has Nick Martin put himself in a not so hot position, Jackals? Because he pit on lap 5, and he's going to need 2 more stops to get home.
Yeah, it's not a favourable position, but you never know what will happen. There might be another safety car that might spice things up and completely turn the race on its head.
So as we run up towards the next pit stop window, we're at the halfway point now, half an hour into this race. Davison leads, Gowan's in P2, Sinise in P3. For the championship side of things, Sinise is still leading the title race. So half an hour in, and we've not changed our championship leader. Davison is doing all he can to win the title tonight, as there's no further action for car 5 and car 061, so that was on lap 14. Faye and Jordan Mazzaroli. Yeah. So Darren Faye and Jordan Mazzaroli. So I mean, it's, we've got to this halfway point now. If you're in Davison's position, Jackals, what's going through your mind? Is it just you're just cutting those laps and you're hoping for the best, or I mean, is he maybe frantically thinking, "What do I do? What do I do? How do I fix this?"
No, you've got to just chip away and try and eke out the gap as much as you can, and then hope that something happens. Because basically, it's out of his hands now. That if he can do the best that he can do, he just has to hope that the others can get past Sinise. So that's really realistically all he can do. Or he can hope for a safety car that might bring out some.
He could hope for a safety car, but I don't know if the safety car is going to help him or if it's going to hurt him. As Rosanita up the inside of Brad Hudson. These guys have been practicing together throughout this season, Jackals, so they've learnt how to drive around each other now, relatively speaking, across the season. That was a bit of audacity
niggle there.
A bit of a niggle between them. As Noble gets the job done, and his own teammate Josh King now get back up into P18 on the road as well. Ben Brook is more than 4 positions away from Nick Martin, so he would lead the Pro-Am at the moment, does Nick. But he needs 2 more stops to get home. One of them would be a half splash for that to happen, as Steve Sinkovich has had a spin down just before the bridge. And just like we have to show off this moment from the old Spinovich. What's happened to him down there? Caught the curb. And round she goes. Did he hit the wall? Say what you will. Say what you will. The amount of times that he's spun has probably actually helped him in that scenario, because he knows to just jump on the brakes and the car's now actually pulled up before the wall.
Is he still leading the series most amount of incident points?
Surely, though I don't think Dean's got nearly enough to get past him.
So surely that's a feat that Stephen wants to keep.
You'd have
the
to.
most amount of incident. But he's getting past McAvoy into 130R here as well. So he is now past Tyson. Tyson surely has to fit in the next couple of laps.
He has to. He comes in now. Yeah. So he's gone to his absolute maximum, which was 14 laps with the safety car. So he could not nearly save enough. The bubble at the moment, we know that Hudson's unavailable for the AWN, but the bubble at the moment, we know that Benici can drop, Depp will drop, being that he's in Malaysia this week, and this is a non-droppable round. Wakefield can drop, he's further back. Proctor, Clifton, Donahue, who I don't think Donahue's here tonight, so he won't get into the AWN through the SRW side of things. Gerard and Sheaf, and I don't believe Matt Gerard's here as well, so if we knock off Hudson and Depp, who are not here, that's 2 positions up for grabs. Wakefield's at the back of the field in P25. Where's Andrew Proctor? P17. So he's beating Wakefield on track. So you'd expect him to gain spots. He's also obviously Hudson's not available, so it's a null and void position. Depp's not here, so he's gaining on him. And I don't think Bonici's here, so he's also gaining on him. So Proctor is now corrected further up that order. Clifton, who is where's Mick? 19th. He's also gaining on Wakefield. Donohue's not here. Gerard's not here. Sheaf is here. He's actually gaining the most points out of any of them up into P12 at the moment. Is Tyler Sheaf. Yes. Okay, so Sean is repping the GSRC since Tyler in the points there. So out of the 5 drivers inside of the top 20 Jackos who could drop, only one of them at this stage would actually still finish inside of the top 20 and get that position. Because Bonici's not repping us. Depp will drop, may drop too... No, yeah, he'll drop too far. And then Hudson's not available. So that's 3 drivers we know will drop. So there's 3 spots up for grabs, relatively speaking. But with Wakefield so far back, it might possibly be 4 that's up for grabs.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. Like the amount of positions and the people that are ebbing and flowing, just on the cusp of not being able to make it or making it. Oh, Dylan DeBono, big spin.
He caught
very
that
lucky.
curve.
Oh, I was gonna say very lucky not to hit that wall.
Oh, and Faye's gone too. Is there some sand down there?
No, I reckon your mates put some oil down there.
Oh,
mate.
Proctor into the wall as well. What is happening at this point of the race? Are there thumbtacks on the circuit? I mean, what has happened? Caught the curb, round she goes, round she blows, and over to the wall. And then this was Proctor's moment at the exit of turn 1. He had McAvoy coming up in behind him, and he caught the curb.
Safety car, I believe, is coming out back out.
Yeah, and I think it's coming out for Andrew Proctor, possibly. So then that was Darren Faye's spin as well. So it's catching the drivers out tonight. No one is exempt from mistakes as Proctor is there, and the safety car.
Everyone's coming in so far as well.
You have to come in because they're 2 laps away.
Well, Mazzaroli stayed out.
Oh, interesting. Very interesting that Mazzaroli has stayed out. So, if we do some quick maths, there's...
2 plus 2 is 4.
2 plus 2 is 4. 22 minutes per stint. So, they're going to get home. It's going to be tight, but they should actually get home. From this, as Andrew Cowan had a mistake, he's kept going. So, with that in mind, Davison's now
McAvoy
got that. Yeah, he's kept going. Why would you get? I mean,
Tyson, he did just pit.
He did, but you would. I suppose he thinks he could save to get home from me. This has actually probably helped those that pit on lap 5, because it means now they can actually save to get home. Wow. So how it can... actually, it hasn't worked out too bad for DeBono. He's ended up in P7 after all that, so he actually hasn't dropped very many positions from that small mistake. The worst of the 2 is Darren Faye, who's back into P10. So that there, very, very interesting how it can play out. So Mazzaroli has stayed out. He pitted on lap 13, so I don't predict he can make it home from that point. He would still need another pit stop in this race. Davison, Sinise, Gowans. The championship contenders would be the corrected top 3. At the moment, Sinise is in championship winning position as Davison and Gowans need to beat him by 7 positions to win the title. Gowans needs to beat him, by 8 because he's directly on 28 points behind, so that would not be enough. So, for... unless he gets fast lap, of course. But you know, now it's restart time, Jack Oz. What can Davison and Gowans do now? What can they do now? Because they've got Sinise right with them again. Can they maybe, you know, force a mistake, force him to run out wide, maybe put their car in a position that if he turns in, he's going to end up causing a crash? What can they do to try and make him drop positions to give them a better shot at the championship?
Oh, you just got to maybe try and spook him a little, but yeah, just make him make a mistake. Is there wave arounds, or is Jono just in the queue?
No, Jono would get his wave around. Sinker would get his wave around. Fu would get his wave around, and Andrew Martin, who's back out on track, would get a wave around. Proctor would not, as he's caused the safety car. So we await the wave arounds to come. Now that we've got our next safety car, we can now talk about wonderful Greg Johnson and his reconnaissance of Suzuka once again. This is the other image that he sent me of him at the welcome to Suzuka
Well, Sinise's
site.
back into the lane.
Ooh. Why has Sinise come in?
Maybe didn't trust that it can make it home on the fuel. Maybe an extra. You wouldn't think that you would change
20 odd
tires.
minutes. There's 20 odd minutes home. He's only taking fuel.
Just a splash and dash.
The problem now is, though, he's going to end up at the back of the field.
Yeah, because the pit lane would be closed. Oh, that's a strange one for me.
This is such a...
Maybe he just
honestly,
wants to do a last to first.
But no, but the problem is, right, the problem now is we're 20 minutes to go to the end. They can get home. They can get home from that pit stop. He didn't need to come in and take the extra fuel. Unless he forgot to take fuel on the last stop. He can leave pit lane now. The pit lane's open.
They've only just opened it.
So
That's a strange one.
that is one of the strangest things I think we've ever seen. That is one of the strangest calls a driver
Now
has
it's
ever
a
made.
dogfight between Gowans and Davison for the rest.
It is. I mean, realistically speaking, Giuliano Sinise has just come in again. I mean, like, I don't get it. Why would you come in when the whole field is backed up? Why would you come into pit lane now? Why wouldn't you stay out and just go long, and then just, if you have to come in for a splash, you come in at the end? Why would you do it now?
I get that maybe because he would then obviously have more time to gain those positions back, because he would be back on the rear of the field. But yeah, he might not have got enough fuel in when he actually stopped.
The problem would be, though, is he has to gain 20 positions. You're not going to lose 20 positions by doing another stop of a quick splash. That's the thing. Like, if he were to stay out, go another 15 minutes, and then come in and take fuel, he's not going to drop down to P25. Like, it's just...
It's a strange one, but we'll see.
It almost seems like
it's an interesting strategy.
It seems like he's thrown it away. Honestly, seems that he's had the hand on the title. He's had the hand on the cup. He was in the same position that Davison and Gowans were in. He wasn't in a different position to them. He was in the same position they were, and he was in a championship-winning position. He's thrown it away. He has that there has cost him the championship. I mean, I'm sorry, but with 15 minutes to go, you're not making up 19 positions to P6 to win your championship. It's not happening. Like, that is not happening. I'm sorry. I mean, that's ridiculous. Well,
Is he maybe
maybe
counting on the others needing to fuel save?
Yeah, but even then, it's 15 minutes. How much time are you going to give up of 15 minutes of fuel saving? They're fuel saving now. Like, it seems... it just seems it's...
An interesting strategy, Hamish. We'll see if it
Interesting
pays off.
strategy. We'll see if it pays off for him. as Mazzaroli will lead us through the final corner. So now it seems it's going to come down to Doug Gowans and Danny Davidson. Pretty much, they just have to beat the other. That's what it comes down to, as it's green flag running once again at Suzuka. 16 minutes to go left on the clock. Davison and Gowans for the title right now, as Dean Sinkovich has had a moment in the background. So there's a position for Sinise, only 18 to go for him. Davison and Gowans, though.
Cam on him.
Yeah, let's keep it on him to see his development of passing the field. Davison and Gowans, though, their battle for the title rages on now. It's in their hands. Gowans has to get past Davison. Davison has to keep it past Gowans. Whoever beats the other wins the title here tonight. Unless Sinise can get up to P6 or better, it's going to be Gowans or Davison on the road. Mazzaroli's run away like it's nobody's business. He doesn't want to be involved. Katakazinas, though, is going to put pressure on his former teammate in towards the hairpin. You'd have to think, hey, come on, Sam, let him go at it one-on-one. They are fighting for a title here tonight, and they are battling for what can only be described personal and professional glory in the Super Formula Championship, brought to you by MOZA Racing. So, I mean, at this stage, who's your pick? Davison or Gowans?
I don't know. Over the moment, you've kind of got to go with Davison because he's in front, but anything can happen. Sinise's already up 3 positions, and he's right on the back of the heels of 2 more cars to pick off. If you want to go to the double cam.
There it is.
And he's just got a massive run, a massive amount of pace on the guys at the back here.
So, Callan Hodgkinson, though, has gone round. So there's another position for Sinise. So all of a sudden, the run is getting easier for him, but it's such an insurmountable amount. And it's a storyline that, you could not write into the history books prior to it happening. So for Sinise now, he's got time that he has to gain, 2.7 seconds up to the back of Nick Martin, to get all the way to Tyson McAvoy in P6. He has to gain 13 seconds over 13 and a half minutes. He has to gain a second a lap. That's another car around. That's Nick Schmalenberg. Josh King is off the track. Brandon Lemon's lost a position too. How has this happened? So the crucial number for Sinise, he has to gain a second a lap to get up to McAvoy. But to do that, he then also has to get past McAvoy. The positive thing is Davison and Gowans are not leading the race, so he actually only needs to get to Darren Fahey. He just has to get to Fahey, and he would win. That's what he has to do now. So P7 is currently the goal for Giuliano Sinise to win this title. For Davison, he's got to keep doing what he's doing. He's got to keep the car ahead of Gowans. Cannot let Gowans past him as best as he can. That is what is on the line for these drivers. Gowans has to get past Davison. And with 12 and a half minutes left, it's on the line for all of them. It is on the line for all of them. Everything, maximum pressure, maximum moments. Was it a mistake from Sinise that cost him, or was it a mistake in choosing that strategy? As Kevin Wakefield has been off the road, he keeps it going. He's now dropped below Josh King as well. So was it strategy mistake? Was it decision-making mistake? What was it that has cost Sinise at this point that made him come through the pits again for a third time, when now he has to fight his way through the field?
It's hard to tell, really. Yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting way to go about it. Let's be honest, Hamish. I definitely didn't expect it. You definitely didn't expect it either. I don't think anyone expected that.
No, I did not. Mind you as well, the gap's now 11.3 seconds between Fahey and Sinise. The last lap for Sinise, a 150.1, a 150.4 for Fahey, so he's not getting enough at the moment to get up to Darren Fahey. He needs the seas to part at this stage as DeBono's been off the road. So for Sinise, he needs an almighty amount of luck. For Gowans, he needs to get some tenacity about him. He needs to get the elbows out. It needs to be guns out, Gowans hour. to get ahead of Danny Davidson. Gowans has got to go full push, full pressure, full bore to get past Davison to claim the Pro Championship this season. We mentioned coming into this race, we were guaranteed a brand new, never before seen Pro Champion in the Super Formula Championship. That was a car on the side of the road. That was Nick Schmalenberg. So that's not affecting where Sinise is on the road. It's now 9 positions that Sinise has to make in 10.5 minutes. Can he do it? Doesn't seem very likely.
That was a perfect segue to be like, oh, tune in next week to find out.
Yeah, tune in next week to find out. Well, we won't find out next week. We find out all of tonight. That was still Nick Schmalenberg getting going again as he came past. So, yeah, no, you've just had an absolute mare. But now he'll be hoping that Sheafy and he'll be hoping that Nick Martin and Sheafy just move out of his way. That's what he'll be hoping for right now, that they'll do him a solid and just let him through. Because
I'll tell you what,
they're not battling him. They're not battling him at the moment, and he needs the positions.
He'll wish it. Oh, and Sheafy's blinking too, so he might be a bit sheepish to try and get past Sheafy there. But yeah, he'll be wishing that he had a set of fog lights or body fitted to his car so he could blast the heck out of the cars ahead of him.
Well,
let him know
the thing is, it doesn't matter if he gets past Nick Martin, because Nick Martin would only be within 3 positions of Ben Brook. He's not losing the Pro-Am title. Sheafy's not in this, realistically speaking. I mean, and I know that they're out there to race, they're out there to battle, but Sinise, you've got to give him some sense of, come on, like, just let him go. He's a pro, and he's trying to win a pro title. He's got to be able to make up these positions. You're not fighting him for anything. If he goes for it, just let him have it. Play the smart game. Play your game, play your race. You're not in it with him. I mean, that's the mentality I think they've got to have in this race.
Yeah, I think Sheafy might be going for the AOWN spot, so he might not give it up easy just in case what might happen later as Nick Martin sidesteps and lets him through.
I think Sinise knew that Martin wasn't going to try and defend it too hard, because if Martin defends it and they come together, he's cost himself the title. So he wasn't willing. He wasn't willing to put himself in a bad position. Sinise he pulled the centre move. He put the car in a spot where if he turned in, they're going to crash. As Gowans is hot on the heels still of Danny Davidson as we begin lap 26, 51.5 minutes. 8.5 minutes left in this race. 7 positions for Giuliano Sinise to gain to get up to Darren Fahey to keep him in the championship hopes, but it is insurmountable at this point. It is just, he's kind of got to hope and pray that people run out of fuel or something happens, because it's the gap is stagnating, being stuck in this battle for Giuliano Sinise at the moment.
Yeah, he's made a mountain out of a molehill for his championship hope there.
It's just, it just seems like one of those things, doesn't it, that you ask yourself, WTF, why'd you make the decision? Why was that you came through the pit lane? And you can put your hands up and think, what could have been? If you hadn't have done that, what could have been? Where would we be at the moment? But nothing we can do about it now. That's live racing. Sheafy's off. Sheafy is off the road, so a free position there for Giuliano Sinise. I'm sure the one-hand bandit will be swearing at himself right now for that moment.
Hopefully he didn't hit his door on the wheel in frustration. And what's he done? Has he hit the curb? Yeah.
He has.
Yeah, it's just super easy. 4-4-3 drive-through penalty.
That's Callum Rosanita. So that's a position for Giuliano Sinise. So unfortunately for Cal Rosanita, but good luck for Sinise. It's one more spot. I don't know what's going to happen. Mazzaroli's had to come in. Mazzaroli has had to pit. So now this is changed where Sinise needs to be on the road because Davison has taken the lead. De Bono, though, up the inside, takes the lead from both of them. How has that happened between them? De Bono sneaks it through. We thought Davison was going to lead, and all of a sudden it's now no different for Sinise. He's now up to P11. He's got to get up to P7 to Matt Tesoriero if they were to finish how they are. for Davison. He's got to get past De Bono. But the question is, Jackos, De Bono's not in this. Is he going to play front gunner for his former teammate Doug Gowans to win the title? Is that the plan now for De Bono here to play spoil sport for Danny Davidson?
I'll tell you what, move over Danny Rick. De Bono has now taken the top step of the late breakers. I reckon that was a ridiculously good dive into the first corner there. I mean, 3 wide, I reckon, and there was it was very tight. Almost might have been championship ending.
So to give update on the traverse of Giuliano Sinise to Matt Tessariero now in P7. With 5.5 minutes left, he's got to gain 8 seconds to get past Brooke, Noble, Clifton, Tessariero. There's 4 cars in his way that he has to get past. If Davison gets past De Bono, which he wants to do at 130R, not going to happen there. Needs to be careful. He needs to be careful. What's happened to Darren Fay? He's now lost a spot to Katakazinas. If these guys all tangle, Sinise will be absolutely laughing because he'll be gaining spots. But it's not going to happen just yet as Davison's now taken the lead. He is taking the lead.
De Bono's put in a race control to review the last corner there as well. So there might be a bit of controversy going on about that pass.
Is De Bono going to play? Oh, there was contact. Ooh. There was contact. I reckon he might have to redress. I have a feeling that Davison's going to have to redress that because there was definite contact between them. Well. How the tides can turn in the face of championship glory and how the tides can turn in the seas of Suzuka here in Japan. Which one of them's going to take it? Is it going to be Davison? Is it going to be Gowans? Is Sinise somehow going to get to where he needs to be? Up into P6 on the road. If McAvoy and Clifton need to pit because they came in on lap 17, if they don't have enough fuel, Sinise all of a sudden will have 2 free positions and it'll only be 2 more he needs to get back. As De Bono gets past Davison, do we think maybe that was a redress, possibly, Jack Oz?
It would have to be. Yes, the race control has come across. And third redress complete. So it definitely was a redress, and the gauntlets are off. There's now Dougie's even closer than before to the back of Davidson, so it might even spice up between the two of them.
On board with Doug Gowans. Is it championship glory that could be coming the way of Guns Out Gowans here for Suzuka? It is 3 minutes to go. Probably only 2 more laps left in it. 2 more laps for championship glory. I think it's still an insurmountable amount of time for Sinise to get into a spot. He's going to have to rely on them, on both of them coming together. That's what he has to rely on. As Davison wants an outside line on De Bono at turn 1. Contact's made! Davison in the wall! Davison's day is done! In heartbreak, in controversy, De Bono and Davison make contact at turn 1. In a Senna and Prost-esque moment, Davison is out. He's done. That's it. And now Doug Gowan sits P2 and in championship winning position with Sinise back in P9. And with 1.5 laps to go, he's got to get to P7 on the road. I mean, I have no words. I have no words.
We may as well just call him Bradbury Gowan from now on, I reckon.
He's gonna get past the lap traffic. I think it was massive netcode. I think it was. Davison's been allowed to jump to pits. But we've got to watch it back. We've got to watch it back. For Danny Davidson and Dylan De Bono. Caught the tyre. I mean, it's one of those moments. One of those moments. I don't. It's too close to call if that was on De Bono or if it was on Davison. I mean, it is one of those moments. Davison was the passing car. Did De Bono leave him enough room? I don't know. Downstairs in the RC room, they'll break it down. They'll figure it out. The difference is Gowans can't get a penalty. He wasn't involved. Sinise can't get a penalty. He wasn't involved. And you almost have a feeling, Jackos. You almost have a feeling. For Dylan DeBono, I reckon in his head then he might have been saying, that's for Mid-Ohio.
Oh, yeah, maybe, but that would be a bit controversial.
Oh,
wouldn't
it's just, it's a little bit controversial.
He's not done with this.
He's not. DeBono's,
he wants the overall
He wants the win. He wants the win. Because I think he knows it might be final lap, but he knows that anything can happen. And if Sinise gets to P7, like, he needs that position. He needs the position over Gowans. He doesn't know where Sinise is. He doesn't know where Sinise could be. He wants the win to try and guarantee it for himself. There was some overlap there, Matt. I'm not sure, though. We'll let RC decide. But it's final lap stuff as Gowans... Yeah, he'd be thinking karma. That's what DeBono would be thinking, I'm sure.
Yeah, heart goes out to David.
It has to go out to Danny, because realistically speaking, last week it was a small mistake. This week you could say 50-50. It was just bad luck. That was complete bad luck for Danny Davidson, and your heart does have to break for him in that moment. I mean, it's realistically it is just no further action between them. So maybe they decided it was either they're both at fault or Davison was at fault. They'd be self-penalising, but it's an NFA. Wow, how the tides can turn, how the tables can change. For Dylan DeBono and Doug Gowans, they will come down, though, towards the final corner. DeBono will look to take the race win as Sinise continues his charge. DeBono through the final corner will take the win at Suzuka. Doug Gowans will cross the line, P2 on the road. Darren Fay, P3. Cartagazinas in P4. P5 to McAvoy. Tesseriero, P6. Clifton in P7. Sinise's come across the line in P8. And if we do the maths, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positions between Doug Gowans and Giuliano Sinise. 6 by 4, 24. I can confidently say, prior to the proper maths being done, your Season 1 2025 champion, through one of the weirdest plays we've ever seen. One of the weirdest plays we've ever seen, Jackals. Through one of the most controversial ends to a race that we've ever had in SRW. Not just the SFLs, not just the F3s, but throughout all of SRW. Giuliano Sinise is the champion for the pro class this season. I mean, based on the maths, I think that is the case. I'm pretty sure. He would have won it, yeah, by 4 points. He's done it. So Giuliano Sinise, in, as I said, one of the most controversial ends we've ever had. We know the SFLs can be the home of controversy, but in one of the most controversial ends, for the first time in his career in SRW, Giuliano Sinise is the pro champion in the SFLs. I mean, what a race, what a night. Josh King takes the AM title as we suspected. Where did he finish up? He finished P18 ahead of Kevin Wakefield, and crucially for Nick Martin, he finishes P11, one position ahead of Ben Brook. What a race. What a season. What a way to end it. Your heart has to go out to Danny Davidson. He fought for it all season, Jackos. He put everything on the line that he could. But Giuliano, he had the strong start to the season. The mid-season was Danny's. And in the last two races, it's gone Giuliano's way. Through even the most weird of moments for him. To RC, who may be listening... hello, Greg. Yes, can we please have confirmation?
I can't confirm who the champ is. I think it's 0-1-0.
I think it's Giuliano by 4 points. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I'm basing that off what I'm hearing you guys on the broadcast.
Yeah.
Do you want Pro Am and Am champions for a chat?
Yes. So we'll get the overall top three. and we'll get the champions. Unfortunately for Am and Pro-Am winners, we might have to cut them.
Okay, so that was Tyson
and Cowie.
And
just because otherwise we're
going
to be talking to about 8 people otherwise, and we'll be here forever.
Okay, so just confirming the Pro-Am champ and the Am champ for me.
Pro-Am champion Nick Martin, Am champion Josh King.
Okay, I'll send him in.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. Jacko's thoughts, opinions?
It has to be the first, last to first challenge I've ever seen in a live.
I'd have to agree.
Live race.
I think the last time I've ever seen that was, I think, my 3rd or 4th broadcast ever, and that was at Road America, where someone by the end of lap 1 was in last. By the end of the race, they won. It was wild, absolutely wild.
Yeah, brilliant driving by everyone tonight. Brilliant drive by Denise to come across with that.
Oh wait.
Wait.
And let me just double check something. I need to double check if it was Nick Martin or if it was Ben Brook. I am so sorry. It was not Nick Martin. It was Ben Brook. Yep. Sorry. So let me just confirm to Barb's. It was Ben Brook, not Nick Martin. So I'm so sorry to Nick Martin. We through all of it, and I mean it was a wild race, but through all of it, I've completely miscalculated it. It was Ben Brook who was the Pro-Am champion. It was an is that clock moment, Jordan, and the is that clock moment was Mitch Noble for Giuliano Sinise. So unfortunately for Nick, he did not win the Pro-Am title. It was Ben Brook. Thank you for pointing that out to me, Andrew. I actually appreciate it because Ben has done enough to win again for himself here. So what we'll do is we'll start with Dylan DeBono, our race winner here this evening, because we've got a lot of people to get through. So we'll start with Mr. DeBono. Mr. DeBono, in what I can only describe as the most controversial end to a race we've ever had in our lives. It was called NFA. And I don't want to put you on the spot with it. Was there thoughts of Mid-Ohio in that first corner? I'm going to put you on the spot with it. Was there thoughts of Mid-Ohio?
No, mate, no. It was just racing for the win, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I was well and truly out of the championship.
Yeah.
And I'm just racing for the win. I didn't even know. I thought Danny was way in front of the championship. I thought he was winning by a mile. And yeah, didn't know it. So
yeah, well,
I was just trying to end the season on a high with the win.
Well, you got there. You got there in the end. I am going to point out though that if you had actually let Doug win the race, he would have won the title. He wouldn't have won for where Giuliano was. He would have finished equal points with Giuliano, but I think Giuliano would have won on countback for race wins. So there wasn't really much more you could have done to have helped Doug. I mean, he's not your teammate anymore anyway, but I mean, if you wanted to help a friend, you couldn't have done very much. So got yourself a good win.
Yeah,
but,
I'm just happy I got the win, to be honest with you.
I mean, it's all that matters at this point, isn't it? I mean, you're out of the championship fight. You've got an AOWM position already. It was show up tonight, get yourself a good performance in, and you got yourself a win. And I think, I think even you can admit that this season, especially after last season, just a little bit incomparable. Are you hoping now you've learned some things throughout this season that you can apply to next season, and you've got some stuff off your back this season after being one of the most unluckiest drivers we've seen in the last season of 2024? Do you think next season now you'll be able to apply some learnings, apply some self-reflection, and push forward and challenge for the championship once again?
Yeah, to be honest, this season I haven't been fully committed as I was the past seasons. Just with the lack of time really to practice and do all that sort of stuff. Still haven't made my mind up what I'm doing next season. Whether or not just gonna have a break. But full focus is on this next race at Phillip Island. That's obviously one I've been close to a couple of times now. So I'm gonna. That's mainly the reason I came and raced tonight was just to get a bit more confidence back in the car. and leading into next week, I just want to win that. So eyes forward to that one and see how I go after that, and I'll be able to tell you then.
Well, the beauty is you'll have 2 weeks to practice for Phillip Island because it's in 2 weeks' time. So you get a week off to practice. I'm fairly certain. Stevens told me it's in 2 weeks, so I'm basing this off what he's told me.
Yep.
But you'd get 2 weeks worth of practice in for Phillip Island at least. But I mean, we've got a heap of people to chat to, Dylan, so we don't get a whole lot of time to speak tonight. Hopefully, we do get a chance to speak to you about the AWN. Hopefully, you manage to get on the podium and even finally get that win for yourself as well. So let us know who helps get you and Velocity Sim Labs out on track. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well? And for myself, Jack Oz, and the rest of the league, congratulations on your race win here at Suzuka for the final round of the season.
Yeah, like you said, big thanks to Velocity Sim Lab. All the boys there, you know, Cam, he doesn't race this, but he's always in here week in, week out, helping the boys out. Big shout out to Sam actually finishing 4th. That was an epic drive. Haikaki Power Tools, Here Race YouTube. You guys for putting on a stream week in, week out. SRW for the racing, the series. You know, it's probably Australia's premier league at the moment. And don't forget to check out Velocity Sim Lab on Facebook.
All right, Dylan. Well, best of luck in 2 weeks' time at the Australian Open Wheel Nationals. Hopefully, SRW can take home the win, and hopefully, you're the one to lift the trophy for us. Best of luck in your preparations, and we look forward to seeing you out at the island in 2 weeks' time.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. Well, since Tyson has showed up, we'll have a quick talk to him, and we'll also have a quick talk to Nick Martin, who's just missed out on his Pro-Am Champions as well. Since Josh King has not showed up, let's have a quick chat to Tyson. Tyson, we weren't going to chat to our Pro-Am winner tonight, but since you did show up and Josh King, the AM champion, didn't, we thought we'd have a very, very, very quick chat to you. But a double win for your team with Andrew Cowan taking the AM win tonight as well.
Yeah, it's very, very satisfying to see Cowan get the AM there, the win. He was on a similar strategy to me, so I'm pretty glad that for once my strategy worked. I stayed out of the drama and I finished P5, but P1 in the Pro-Ams, which I didn't expect tonight. I was just coming to, you know, have a night to race, and to do that from 18th, I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah, we were umming and ahhing about that strategy of whether it was going to work out, but once we saw that second or that final safety car come out, we thought, you're probably going to make it at that point. But I mean, you know, Suzuka, you know, what was it like? I mean, I'm going to assume that you showed up and you're like, oh, let's have a bit of a practice and then have a crack at the race. I mean, did you put very much preparation into tonight, or was it pretty much show up in the practice session and then get up to speed?
Showed up with 15 minutes to go of practice. It was 1.5 seconds off the pace, a second off Cowie. So no, I had no practice. I just basically winged it, and it worked. So, strategy, I always tend to pit, even though track position is key. So if I don't have track position early, I will always get the fuel, and then work my strategy from there. So it ended up working in my favour. I didn't want the safety car, because if the safety car didn't come, I still make it home, and I would have finished in P3 probably. But the safety car just made it easier.
I suppose it saved you doing too much saving, but you know, we've unfortunately we don't get a whole lot of time to chat to drivers tonight because we have to get through 2 champions, plus we get to talk to Doug as well. But let us know how helps get you and Performance Sim Racing out on track. Tice, anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well? For myself, Jack Oz, and the rest of the league, congratulations not only on a top 5 tonight, but also the Pro-Am Championship as well. Oh, not Pro-Am Championship, Pro-Am win, sorry.
Yeah, I'll take the win. But a big shout out to KO Music, to Western Mazda, and the car sponsor for the race for the F3 is #TalkToMeBro. So if you need a bro, just don't be afraid to talk to your mates, because they're always there for you. And also, just on behalf of Race Control, I'd like to give a shout out to all the team for all their hard work and all the drivers this season. It's been fantastic to see the clean racing and a lot of fun for the broadcast guys. So thank you.
No worries at all, Tyson. Thanks so much for coming and have a chat to us. Best of luck in your next venture here in SRW. I don't think you've raced enough to make the AOWN in 2 weeks. So if you're racing next season in the Open Wheelers, we look forward to seeing how you go.
Thanks, Hamish.
Thanks, mate. Next up, we've got Nick Martin, who unfortunately has just missed out on the Pro-Am Championship. Jackos, do you want to take the lead on Mr. Nick Martin here?
I think you would be better because you would be quicker at it than me.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll quickly race through them. Nick, unfortunate. I made one of the biggest blunders I've made, and I've called you the champion, and unfortunately, I miscalculated when I was running through the list. To be honest with you, though, if you understood the amount of brain-melting moments that happened within the final 2 laps, I would hope you would forgive me, because we've had a championship contender get taken out of the championship fight with 2 laps to go. We're then having to keep an eye on the championship contender who could win it, trying to fight his way up to P8 to win the title. And through all of that, I've miscalled you as the champion. But you had an incredible season, and you've got yourself an Australian Open Wheel Nationals position in 2 weeks' time. P2 in the championship, though, P2 to Pro-Am, that's not too bad. And it means that you would technically be the top-seeded Pro-Am at the moment, with Ben moving up into the Pro class into next season.
Yeah, Ben drove a good season, so he did well in that, and couldn't quite get him today. Sadly, got taken out, so can't do much about that. But drove back, and yeah, I knew when I crossed the line I didn't have it. So when Greg called me in, I'm like, yeah, it's not me. But
yeah, I do apologise, especially any Nick Martin fans out there, because I did call that. I'll be honest with you, it's been a stressful, quick pace setup this evening, and then through all that, it was just my brain had gone at that point. But I want to quickly ask, what was the feeling like in the room when Andrew decided to show us how SFLs make love on track at the final couple of corners? Because we saw him mount Greg Johnston's car, and we saw him having a little prayer afterwards. Was he asking for forgiveness possibly for putting that on our stream?
Honestly, I'm not quite sure what happened. We haven't reviewed it yet, and I was a little bit further up the road, so haven't seen that yet. But yeah, there was a bit of sadness. So.
Oh well, our heart goes out to him, of course. But we've got a couple of people we've got to get through though, Nick. So unfortunately, it needs to be a little bit short and sweet. But you have locked yourself into the AOWN in a couple of weeks' time, so we hope to see you out on track for that one. But
yeah, I'll be there.
Oh, very good. So let us know. Helps get you and Get a Grip Racing out on track. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well? And for myself, Jack Oz, and the rest of the league, congratulations on P2 in the Pro-Am Championship and a fairly solid season under your belt.
Yeah, so we've got the guys at Velo Seats. They've jumped on board this season, and obviously my dad for teaching me most of what I know. And the Your Name Here campaign. So if you want to see your name on my car and Dad's car, hit me up and we'll sort something out. Thanks, guys, for the season.
Very good, Nick. Best of luck at the AWN in a couple of weeks at Phillip Island, and we look forward to seeing how you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up on the ticket, we're going to go with... Let's go with Mr. Ben Brook. We'll quickly chat to our 2025 Season 1 for a second time now in the last year. Pro-Am champion Benjamin Brook. 2 titles, Ben, in the Pro-Am class within the span of 12 months. How does it feel to get that one done for Frog Leap Juice Racing and for yourself on a personal level? You did enough to keep it within 4 positions of Nick Martin, and you did enough to get yourself a title. Congratulations.
Yeah, cheers. That was hard work. Just at the last couple of laps there when Giuliano bloody sent it straight up the inside of me, and I almost scared me off the track.
To be honest, Ben, if you knew... So to give you a feeling of how we were in the booth, he pits with the whole field in a line and went to the back of the field. He needed a top 8 position if Doug finished second. He needed a top 6 if Danny would have won. So he had to try and fight from, I think it was 25th all the way up to the top 8. So we weren't surprised he was sending it. But I mean, continue talking through it, obviously. But yeah, I mean, it was he was a man on a mission at that point.
Oh yeah, we've been having a chat about it in the green room, but it was on. And then Nick was right behind him, so it's like, yep, you can just go through, and I'll just sit back here for the next few minutes. So yeah, all good.
Now you find yourself back in the pro class next season, Ben, and then also you've obviously got yourself a top 5 in the championship, as well as I'm pretty sure you got top 5 in the championship. Actually, that might not be true because Sam and Dylan have finished so far up, so you might be just out of that. But you'll be at the AWN, or at least you've got a place at the AWN in a couple of weeks' time. First of all, are we going to see you at Phillip Island on that day representing the SRW side of things?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Very good, very good. Second of all, going back into the pro class next season, you've been one of those drivers that's gone in between pro and pro-am quite a few times now. Are you feeling less pressure than when you first went there a few seasons ago after you'd won your first Pro-Am title, or is it are you feeling a little bit easier now at this point?
You're feeling a lot more relaxed about it this time around. I was talking to Doug about it after the win in Miami, and it was just like, when I went into pros, I just overdrove the car and just made so many mistakes, and I think I almost missed the Open Wheel Nationals because of it. So, this season just went in with the mindset of just going back to basics and just qualifying around the top 10 and then just driving to my pace, and it's all come together. Just need to find some extra lots of tenths of a second, and hopefully can take it up to the guys up front.
Well, I suppose, with a little bit of lady luck on your side and, just keep doing what you're doing, I'm sure you'll find that pace through natural progression. But let us know there, Ben, who helps get you and Frog Leap Juice Racing out on track. Anyone else you wish to give a shout out to? For myself, Jack Oz and the Wrestling League, congratulations on your Pro-Am title win this season. We look forward to seeing how you go at the AOW in a few weeks and how you go back in the Pro-Am class for Season 2 of 2025.
Cheers. Thanks, boys. Big shout out to both yourself and Jack for doing the broadcast. It's fantastic. And to SOW for running the league. And a big shout out to my team, Frog Leap Juice Racing, and our sponsors, Juice Energy, Racecraft Simulations, Hall, and Sudspeed Race Clubs.
Very good. Well, as I said, best of luck in a few weeks' time at Phillip Island. Look forward to seeing how you go. Enjoy the couple of weeks of preparation you get for that race, and hopefully we get to see an SOW win come our way at the island.
Yeah, let's hope so.
I think we're due it at this point. Thanks for coming over chat to spend. Really appreciate it.
Cheers. No worries.
Thanks, mate. Next up on the ticket for Full Throttle Racing, P2 on the road tonight and P2 in the championship, Mr. Doug Gowans. Do you understand that you are now the Felipe Massa of the MOZA Racing Super Formula Championship?
What do you mean?
So you've come across the line P2.
Yep.
You've come across the line champion. And then Giuliano's gotten past Mitch Noble.
How cool is that?
and he's gotten past Mitch Noble in a very is that Glock-esque moment. And we had to do the mental maths in our head as he's crossed the line because I've had to...
Yeah.
Because obviously, so to break it down for a second, and when you watch it back, you'll completely understand. So Danny Davison goes into the wall at turn 1 with 2 laps to go.
Yeah.
And you sit P2 with enough positions ahead of Giuliano to win the title. And I'm sitting there thinking... Like, just what? Like, how? Where do we go? And compounded with the fact of Giuliano then played one of the weirdest pit stop strategies we've ever seen under a safety car where he's gone all the way to P25 out of a championship winning position. And I'm thinking, what has happened? Like, where are we?
His fuel didn't go in. His fuel didn't go in the first time.
What?
So he had to go back around and go back into the pits.
So... Okay, well, I have to say that because we were calling it, is this a misplay? Like, is this one of the biggest mistakes someone's ever made? But if that's happened, that's the pit crew's fault, obviously. But that has now... And I feel bad because we could have solved that up so much better if we knew that at the time. Because genuinely, that is one of the greatest ways for someone to ever win a championship is you come in, you're down in the dumps, and you have to push for 15 minutes to get up to a title-winning position.
Yep, that's right.
But for you, I mean, you're there at the front of the field with your teammate Dylan. Even if Dylan had given you the position for P1, you would have been equal on points, and Giuliano would have won on countback.
For sure. So, that's right. That's right. Yeah, look, I would have been a long shot, and it wouldn't have mattered, like you said, if I come P1 or P2. It was going to be hard to beat Giuliano. When he came into the pits, I thought, what the hell is he doing?
Yeah, I thought
has he had an incident?
I literally, I said to Jack, didn't I, Jack? I'm like, and I had to, the biggest piece of self-control I think I've ever had in a booth of not having to swear. I'm literally thinking, what in the F are you doing? Like, why are you coming in? Like, and I'm thinking, like, has he just had the biggest brain fade of all time? But no,
so
what
he said to me, so he done the first pit stop and that worked out fine, but he forgot to tick the box again to refuel. So when he come back in for the second pit stop, he got no fuel.
Oh my God.
I know.
I'm just imagining the pool of sweat in that seat at that moment of when he's realised he's not put any fuel in.
I've been talking to him. He's full of sweat.
Oh, I'm sure. But
love it.
I think you ran an incredible season, Doug. I made the prediction that you were actually going to win the title tonight. I thought, hey, this is finally going to be the Bradbury moment. You're going to get a pro title to your name. But it didn't go your way in the end. I thought then, I'm like, I could be on here once Giuliano come in. And then I really thought I could be on here when Davison went into the wall. I'm thinking, what have I just called one of the biggest moments in history? Like, what has happened?
You should have been in my. You should have been in my cockpit watching the dominoes fall. I'm like, what the hell?
And I said it on broadcast, and I said it to Dylan as well, and I say this with the most respect to Danny, because I'm sure he regrets the mistake he would have made at the time. But I said on the broadcast, I'm like, is Dylan thinking mid Ohio at that point in time when Danny's gone into the wall? Like,
Oh, look, Dylan is not that type of person.
No, I know.
From what I know.
I know.
But, I was surprised that Danny was fighting as well. Danny didn't have to fight Dylan,
he didn't. And
but that's the good thing, about Danny and also Dylan. They're both fighters, and they will race no matter what's up for grabs. They want to get the win on the night, I don't have the courage to do that. I'll just sit back and just be happy in my own little world.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's, and we've been, we obviously we come from a very neutral standpoint in the booth. We have no favorites. We have no hatred towards any drivers, but we are also, I mean, we call it as we see it, and we're very vocal in terms of, obviously, of what we see.
Yes, you should be.
Very opinionated, because we're the ones who've been selected to have an opinion, it seems.
100%,
at least an
100%.
opinion that's been voiced.
Yep, that's right.
I mean, it's been an immense season with a whole heap of ups and downs, and, we mentioned it to you at Miami. The calendar was one that we thought maybe didn't suit the series that best. There are a couple of tracks that maybe would have changed, but I think as a whole, it came together as a very, very good season. I think it came together very, very well, nicely in terms of the moments that happened. And if you watched it from start to finish, you watch this progression, this storyline build of different drivers on circuit, different drivers battling for wins, different drivers battling for this championship, and the different ebbs and flows of who's in this championship fight, where have they come from, and you can go back and watch, and you can pinpoint the moments that cost drivers their championship, whether it was you at Chicago, or whether it was Danny at Miami, or whether it was Giuliano, 5 races ago.
Yep.
You can pinpoint those moments, and you can pick them out and then go back and watch them. But
look,
things can change.
I've spoken with quite a few of the drivers, and every single one of them has said to me that they really enjoyed the season. They really enjoyed the challenge. I was just having a good chat with Nick, and Nick said he absolutely loved the season. You're sure there's going to be a few people out there that don't like that type of
You're never going to please everyone.
Tight circuit. No, that's right. But I think at the end of the day, what we're seeing is a championship that's gone down to the wire. I believe there was only 12 points separating the pro-ams. So it's tied all around. So I'm very pleased and very proud of the drivers for their attendance this season, their efforts. I personally couldn't ask for more as it had been.
I think, and there's so many moments in this race as well, like, as Gwackle says, De Bono taking the move for the win of the century, 3 wide into turn 1, which we caught the back end of as we saw Mazzarella coming into the lane.
I was backing out of that one, I'll tell you that right now.
Have it, please. I'm not turning into Senna and Prost here with Davison, but
no, that's right.
It's just, and I need to quickly talk to you. I need to quickly call it out before we let you go, because of course we still got to talk to Giuliano.
Of course.
Do you have short-term memory, Doug? Because I've heard the calendar for next season, and Bathurst, really?
Yes, mate. Yes,
really?
Absolutely. Why not?
Well, a few reasons. Number one, last time we raced there, within the span of 30 minutes, we had about 4 safety cars, all at the dipper. But then there's also the flip coin of saying, well, why would we not do it if we got that?
That's correct. Absolutely.
So, but
that's racing. That's just racing. We haven't been to Bathurst for quite a while. Everyone loves Bathurst.
We haven't been there in the SFL. The last time we were there was in the F3. So maybe it'll be different. So maybe it'll be different in the SFL.
Well, mate, it's much more downforce, much more grippier, So it'd be nice to attack the track in a different car, And I think the driving standards have improved over the last few seasons as well. So I would expect that it would be more of a well-run race on the driver's behalf. So, but time will tell. Racing is racing, and every track brings up its own incident. So,
well, Doug, we obviously don't want to keep you here for too long. We also don't want to keep Giuliano waiting for too long as well. But let us know. Helps get you Full Throttle Racing out on track. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to? For myself and Jack Oz, congratulations on a successful season, a P2 in the championship, and some absolutely phenomenal moments along the way as well.
Look, I just want to say that I thoroughly enjoyed the season. I really want to, congratulate Jules, and I feel very, very sorry for Daddy. I was really enjoying the battle up the front with those guys tonight, and seeing who was going to come out on top there. Congratulations to, the other winners in the championships and the Pro-Ams and the AMs. I'm looking forward to the AOWN coming up in a couple of weeks' time, so get out and watch that one, people. Just thank you guys. Thank RC, thank SRW and MOZA. I run a MOZA R9, so I can highly recommend it. So I'm looking forward to next season, so I'll catch up with you then, guys.
No worries, Doug. Best of luck at the Australian Open Wheel Nationals in a couple of weeks' time. How ironic it is we get to go racing at Phillip Island, and the look on Sinker's face when it came off on that wheel spin.
Oh, what a track.
Priceless. Absolute priceless.
What a track. What a track. Looking
absolutely.
forward to it.
I'm so looking forward to it. But,
thanks, guys.
No worries, Doug. Thanks so much. Next up on the tickets, after what can only be described as one of the wildest ways we've ever seen a driver win a championship, not ever since Hamilton won his first title in 2008 at the infamous Interlagos, with the Is That Glock moment. It's an Is That Noble moment for Giuliano Sinise, who gets himself into P8 on the road, 6 positions within of Doug Gowans, and is the 2025 Season 1 Pro Champion. Giuliano, the questions, the comments, the thought processes that went on throughout that race of, we got about 40 minutes into it, and then we're like, Giuliano's done pretty well. He's in a nice tight spot here. He's done well. We got a safety car. And then you come into pit lane, and we're thinking, what in the hell have you done? What have you just thrown a title away? And Doug's just told us then that your car wasn't fueled by iRacing, so I suppose put some blame on that. But man,
yeah,
we were almost cursing you out, Giuliano. I have to say, we're almost cursing you out, thinking like, what the has he just done? Like, you've just thrown it away. But then within 15 minutes, there's no way you can gain enough spots to get there, and then you did. In the final moments, you did it, and you got to where you needed to be. Thoughts, opinions, feelings. You've won the title in probably the most extraordinary way we've seen in a long, long time. How does it feel, sir?
Well, for starters, hello Hamish, hello Jack.
Hello.
I honestly am speechless. I don't really know. There's a mix of and a range of so many different emotions, because like that last 20 minutes, like the feeling of when I rocked up to the box and nothing was happening, and I sat there for about 10 seconds and still nothing was happening, and I'm like, oh, what's going on? And John, my race engineer, was like, what's going on? And then he's just like, go, go, go. And then he said, I went out, and then I'm like, did it fuel up? And he goes, no. Did it fuel up? I go, I don't see any fuel. And it's like the worst feeling possible, honestly. Yeah. And it's like my heart sank, and it was like, well, what the hell do we do now? And we were just discussing it. It's like, he's like, if you stay out, we'll try and extend, and maybe another safety car, or maybe something might happen, and you might be able to extend the way up. So I don't know. I've got 6 laps to go in this tank. I don't think I'm going to make this. I think the best bet is I've got pace. Let's just box, and I just fight my way up. And he was like, yeah, just do it. Just box now and just fight, honestly. And for 20 minutes, like, I don't think I had a single thought that, like, it was just pure concentration. Like, I am sweating so bad right now. So I'm just trying to cool down.
to point something out to you to maybe alleviate some stress in the future, if you had actually just clicked begin fueling whilst you're in the box, it actually would have started fueling you while you were sitting there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And but you're in the heat of the moment.
In the heat of the moment, you're like, well, what do you do? You're like, what do I do? But and we were even saying, we were like, that's it. We thought there is no way you can get to where you needed to be. We were initially saying you had to get to P6 because of where Danny was on the track, because he was up at P2. No, that was if he won, and then we thought it was P7 where he currently is, which is P2, and then he got sent into the wall. And
I had no idea with what happened with Danny, to be honest. But like, honestly, I thought the same thing. I thought it was done, to be honest. I was just like, look, make every single move count. But I thought it was done the whole time. I was just like, just fight, just go as hard as you can go for 20 minutes,
I
and
think
just make every move count.
I think Lady Luck was not only on your side today, but it laughed at you along the way. It was like, if you're gonna win this, you're gonna do it as tough as possible. You
Why?
are.
I was crying.
It was like Lady Luck was just like, no, F you, Giuliano. You are going to earn this thing. You're not getting the easy way home. You got given the lifeline last week. We're just going to strip that away with about 20 minutes to go in the race and see how you handle it. And to be fair, under pressure, it's created an absolute diamond, because it was one of the most wildest ends to races I've ever seen. We only just caught probably the pass of the century by Dylan DeBono 3 wide into turn 1 through sheer luck. And then the fact of, my heart breaks because I wish I had the smarts to just click back and see where you were, just to get the is that Glock moment with Mitch Noble with you coming past him, because it was, and you come across that and I'm thinking, wait, who's the champion? Has he done it? Has Doug done it? And I'm doing the maths, and I'm like, I'm verbalizing the maths as we go along, and I'm sitting there going, oh yeah, Doug's P2. Where's Giuliano? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, you've done it. So, I mean, it was just a wild end to a season. I mentioned that probably the first sort of 4 or 5 races were yours. That was your time to shine this season. It was the first third was yours. The middle period was Danny's. And the last 2 races have been yours as well. And I think through determination, through sending people with pitchforks into the chat every week, creating moments, creating memories for people out there. I mean, just to call out some of the, I had to steal your line, Guackle. Come on, but to steal. I mean, like Chris in the chat, like still picking up my draw after that finale. Holy shit. Jonathan Monday, surprise Pikachu face. I mean, it's just like it is genuinely for live broadcast, because obviously there's some replay broadcasts where I then have to act surprised that someone's won. For a live broadcast, this may be the greatest end to a championship I've ever called. Just through the sheer amount of unintangible words or not knowing or just whatever it may be. And I think the pieces of the puzzle came together to give us possibly one of the best last 20 minutes of a race we've ever had, not only on the Wednesday nights, but possibly like not. I think the only one that probably comes close to me is probably the CNF 500 last year in December, because that was insane. Absolutely insane.
I'm glad I brought the excitement. I'm glad I made that last 20 minutes count.
Thanks, Fuel Cell. Much appreciated.
Honestly, as much as I was sending it, if it wasn't for everybody that I did pass, leaving me a good amount of room, then it wouldn't have been possible. So I think a lot of thanks goes to every driver in the league, because it was all clean. Even Ben, I scared the living daylights out of Ben into turn 1. I was telling him, I'm so sorry, dude, but it was like a do or die moment, man. I'm going for this, and I'll leave you as much room as I can, but I'm going for this.
I think you owe about 17 people Christmas cards at the end of this year. I mean, through the drivers that made mistakes that ended up off the road and the ones that you passed on the track as well. It was a hard-fought championship win. It was one where you literally got to the last possible place you could be to win. I mean, to be fair, if you hadn't have passed Mitch, you would have won on tie points on count back to Doug, but you don't want it that way. You want to win it by 4 points.
I wasn't even thinking that, to be honest.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
I mean, you don't know, because you don't know if Dylan's going to let Doug pass, and then all of a sudden you need P8 to get that count back win. So it's better to get into the position where you've locked it in, more so when it's a 50-50. But I mean, Giuliano, what a season for you! What a win! What a championship win, through the highs, through the lows, through the heartbreak, through the stresses that have compounded to you all the way to this point of the season. It has been an incredible effort, and I think it's as I said, it's probably one of the best seasons I've had an opportunity to call. So let us know who helps get you out on circuit, Giuliano. Anyone you wish to give a shout out to as well, for myself, Jack, and the rest of the league. Congratulations on your championship win here in the pro class of the MOZA Racing Super Formula Championship, and how sweet it must be for you.
It's absolutely ecstatic. But honestly, thank you guys so much for having here and running these sports streams and everything is broadcast every week, week in, week out, and it's been awesome. Just honestly, thank you to everybody in the league that raced alongside me, Danny, Doug. Honestly, they gave me a hell of a fight. Dylan as well. So like even Jordan towards like the back half of that was on fire. Honestly, everybody gave me a massive run. So thank you to everybody in the league. Everybody in Atomic Racing community, like John especially, who's race engineered me a couple of races, Guackle. Chris from time to time has helped me out from time to time, but it's mainly been John and helping me out. But honestly, like massive thank you to everybody. Yeah, honestly, I'm just ecstatic, to be honest. Just honestly ecstatic.
I think you've probably it's been one of the hardest fought wins I think we've ever had to see in front of our eyes. So, take some gumption in that, take some pride in that as well. Bring yourself to the AOWN in 2 weeks' time at Phillip Island and win us a race, because I think you're probably one of the best ones we can have out there.
Thanks, Hamish. I'll give it my all. I was just saying to Doug, I said, like, man for man, pick each one of us pick a GSRC guy, man for man, just try and hustle them out because they've won the last two. I mean, I got close last year. Unfortunately, I made a stupid error. But Phillip Island's going to be fun. It's going to be a great time. So I love that track.
And just quickly before we let you go, wasn't it Doug that brought you into the league as well?
He did.
How ironic it is. How ironic it is that it comes down between you two for it all. I mean,
I didn't actually think about that. Yeah, no, we were racing. Where did I meet Doug? I think it was MC Motorsport was the league that we were running in, and Doug was like, "Hey, you're pretty cool. Come along." I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And no, Doug's been awesome. Honestly, Doug's been great. So it's been awesome. I'd call him a friend, to be honest, and it's been really cool. So no, it's been awesome. And thank you again, Doug, for bringing me down.
Well, Giuliano, you are a champion. Best of luck at the AOWN, and best of luck in Season 2 of 2025. We'll see if you can go back-to-back in your efforts and make yourself a mainstay name at the front of this field.
Thanks, Hamish. Thanks again, Jack. Yeah, honestly, thank you again so much, guys. It's been awesome.
No worries, Giuliano. Thank you so much. Best of luck in your preparations in the next few weeks.
Thank you, guys, and enjoy the rest of your night.
No worries, you too. Enjoy that simulated champagne.
I'll try.
No worries, mate. See ya. Well, Jack Oz, I don't know if there's any other words for it, but pure cinema.
Yeah, it was definitely not what I expected going into this, but I couldn't have asked for a better finish as an entertainment point of view. Yeah, my heart goes out to Danny, obviously, for losing in that sort of, or losing the chance of the championship in that sort of way. But yeah, congratulations to all of the class champions. You guys all drove brilliantly all season long, as did majority of the field, if not all of the field. Drove really well, really clean, hard, clean racing basically the entire season. So hats off to them, hats off to race control and the admins for putting together the season, and to you, Hamish, for giving me the call up to do this this broadcast.
Yeah, it's been a phenomenal season. Of course, it's been fantastic to have you here all season long, Jack Oz. And however the SFLs line up next season, whether it's whoever it might be in the booth, whether it's me and somebody else, or whether it's somebody else and somebody else, who knows? We don't know who that's going to be. It's we're still 4 weeks away, and we're waiting to lock things in for that. But it's been an incredible pleasure once again. But an incredible pleasure to bring you guys this action this season, and wanted into it. But we've still got one more race to happen in the Super Formulas here in SRW and for the GSRC at the Australian Open Wheel Nationals in 2 weeks' time out at Phillip Island. It'll be on the Wednesday night. We'll be in here at 7:30 once again, and it's going to be unmissable TV once again as well. So you guys don't want to miss it. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So be sure to hit the like button, to subscribe, the bell icon as well, so you're notified when that race does happen. We've still got the rest of round 9 to go tomorrow night for the Shannon's Insurance Toyota GR86 Nationals out at Charlotte Oval Course. for the final round of that series. Sunday night, round 7 for the Warren and Brown Tools V8 Supercars Championship out at Oran Park as well, so we look forward to calling the action for that one. But big thank you to go to all of our series sponsors, including Warren and Brown Tools, our title sponsor for the Warren and Brown Tools V8 Supercars Series and the Warren and Brown Tools V8 Supercars Championship, as well to MOZA Racing for coming on board this season as what has been one of the best seasons of the Super Formula Championship we've ever seen. So massive appreciations to them as well, to coming on board for title sponsorship of the Australian Open Wheel Nationals as well. It's massively appreciated. And then to Shannon's Insurance for their continued support of the Toyota GR86 Nationals on Thursday nights. To Shunt Scenery as well, and to Grim Industries, the home of the V8 Coffee Table, which can be found on Prime Video's Top Gear Australia. And to Phoenix Driver Development. All of our sponsors are linked in the description below. You guys can visit PDD on Facebook, send them a message. If you're out for some personal supercars training or you want some setups made for you as well, you can also message Laz or Rehan Leonage on Discord, and they'll be sure to try and sort you out a time slot and a setup as well for whatever you're needing. But I've been Hamish Munro with Jack Anderson once again. We appreciate your time, appreciate you being here with us. See you guys next time for SRW action with James Parfitt and Steve Singovich in the booth tomorrow. Nathan Howard and Steve Singovich in the booth tomorrow night for the Shannon's Insurance Toyota GR86 Nationals. But until then, stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.
This is amazing. It's clash heads again. This is like Chad Mosman and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down to the hill. Sam Noble wants to snip on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because tell you what, Bruce Tanak and James Dyke just absolutely drove away from us.